I wonder, because now I want to talk about like what happens after the war. Um,
Mm.
the first thing I'm curious about is we see that when Israel rules over areas that Arabs live in, it seems to me, unless you say otherwise, that most Arabs are pretty cooperative and peaceful. When you can't talk about like Israeli Arabs, by and large, and then you see have this vast contrast where as I say, the vast majority of Arabs living in Gaza support or are complicit with Hamas. So it seems to me that it's not so much about whether or not you're an Arab, and more just about the culture and society you live in, the exposure you have to ideas and values and other people and Jews and Israelis. Just wondered what your reflections were on that, and obviously that's going to lead into then the question of annexation.
Right. Okay. I think that's a it's a well phrased question, and there's a lot there, but let's try to make order here. Arabs and Muslims can have a tendency towards jihadism. Why did I say it that way? Because I'm saying that I distinguish between Arabs, Muslims, Palestinians, all kinds of names, and jihadism. There's a difference. There is a predilection. There is a correlation between jihadism and the Arab world because it comes from the tradition. It comes out of Islam. But there's, look at the UAE, look at Morocco. There's different ways of doing it. It happens to be that jihadism here in the region of Israel has been very strong for the last 100 years, and it's been fomented by people like Haj Amin al Husseini, who was a proto-Nazi, then became an actual Nazi, and it later on propelled by such forces as Yasser Arafat, then a more religious jihad through Hamas, the Muslim Brotherhood. And whenever they take control, which is whenever they are given the chance to take control, because they're very violent, and they take control of these places, and they also show their own successes. And so when you allow that to happen, the jihad takes over. It brainwashes kids. It's a master brainwasher. It's a master brainwasher, and they know exactly. And they're like the Stasi. They know exactly which Arab is against, no, is for Jewish normalization and against the PA or Hamas, and they find them and they destroy these people. In Hebron, we had an Arab. I don't want to say his name because again he would be in danger, but he became pro-Israel, and he started inviting groups, and immediately they invited him to meet with them, and they took him down to jail in Jericho and just beat the crap out of him for 2 months. And he came back with a stuttering lip and quaking lip, and never to host another Jewish group again because he was taught good how to not be close to the Jews. And they teach jihadism from school age on, and you see that in the videos. You see what they teach the children. So when Israel is not in control, the jihad takes control, and it brainwashes the children to hate forever. So that's
Right.
number one. And Israeli Arabs, sadly, are moving more towards identification with Palestinianism. Palestinianism is the nice form of jihadism. It's the nice word of jihadism because Palestinianism seeks to replace Israel. It's a replacement doctrine. And
Right.
so when we allow them to be out of control or to get in control, to say it more correctly, then they see our weakness. They make riots. Remember, was it May 2002 or 2001? Was it that the summer that we had these Arab riots in the streets of Israel, and you have Israeli Arabs from Akko, Yafo, Ramle, Lud, and these places rallying against Israel, protesting against Israel, but that it killed one Jew, burned down 10 synagogues, and they saw that our reaction was weak. Then they saw that our internal struggles were high. They saw that the Jews were fighting amongst themselves. They said, "This is the time." Just like in the Bible, when the Jews are fighting, that's when they're struck. So that's what happened. And Israeli weakness in the face of this jihadism invites more jihadism, and that's where we're at today.
Okay. So